lacquered inside with red lacquer. After many years of study, usually our students study on a weekly basis, and we teach them all of these movements and things, and they're able to prepare tea without any thought. Their body has learned everything, and so we're able to free ourselves to talk and communicate with the guests. She's using a very simple red silk cloth to wipe the tea container and tea scoop. Silk is actually a very gentle material, and for many hundreds of years, many Asian countries have used silk for storing lacquerware and other fine utensils, and in tea we've been using it for a very long time to wipe the utensils. Each school has a very strict choreography of how we prepare the tea, but it's interesting when we actually invite guests for tea, well, that choreography remains the same. Everything else is really open to lots of interpretation. So there are no rules about what kind of utensils we use or how we entertain the guests. But the movements in actually making the tea are pretty well choreographed. Everything has its own place on the tatami mat. In olden times, it was all based on yin and yang, in Japanese, in to yo. So something that was in, we would take the yo hand, and vice versa. Today we don't teach tea that way anymore. It's all with left and right. But there is a very logical explanation about where everything goes on the tea room mat. And once everything is out of the tea bowl, then she'll pour some hot water and then warm the whisk in the bowl. In addition, she'll be inspecting the whisk. The whisk is a very simple utensil made from just one piece of bamboo that's split back and tied into anywhere from 80 to 120 tines. So it's like a little beater, and this is used to whip the tea to make a frothy foam on the top. And because these items are all handmade, you might find a little splinter, and so by inspecting it we can take that off before making the tea. So we're always very careful that everything is checked. Even though it's been checked beforehand in the preparation room, we do it once again in front of the guests. And then she's using a very fine linen cloth to wipe the bowl. We want to be sure that the bowl is pretty dry because the tea is so finely powdered that if there's any little water spots, the tea might ball up in there before adding the hot water. So she's very careful to wipe it in a very prescribed manner. Those of you that have seen a Catholic Mass might find some of this stuff that we're doing kind of reminiscent of what happens during the Catholic Mass. And it's never really been really known for sure, but Senrikyu, many of his friends were Christian, and they used to share the Catholic Mass and tea in these private rooms. And so it's very possible during that time that some of this stuff was picked up from the